Hello everyone, welcome back to Joy's Creative Finger. I finally built a grocery store in my town. I've got a ton of requests from you to build a grocery store, and that was quite hard because we don't have shelving, we don't have, individual items that you can place at different layers in a piece of furniture, but I was able to do something. This is the front part of the store, and I have some kind of signage that looks like vegetables or greens and stuff like that. And then of course the body of the build is a bit simple but still stylish. It's an L-shaped build, and I try to, as much as possible, even though it's a grocery store, at least get it looking as decent as I possibly could. We've got toilets up top here and staff rooms at the top up here as well, and a place to sit down for staff members. Now, it's a small grocery store, so we don't have a ton of staff, and we have only 10 Sims on site, so the whole entire Diamond Sim family is not here today. So this is the entrance. I typically use these overhangs in most of my builds, but once you come through the entrance here, you have the front part of the store where you have the tills, obviously. Now, I felt that the tills should face the front part of the store so that when you've gone around and done your shopping and you're trying to leave, you will come across the tills first before you leave, so they will see you if you choose to dart out the store with a bunch of shopping that you haven't paid for. So these tills obviously part of the items that we won in the Here Today Gone Tomorrow live event, and they're quite useful in here. And this is the front part of this small grocery convenience store, if I might call it that. Now, on the side, as you do in most of these stores, as you do experience, you have a stack of flowers. So you could just pop over there and decide to pick up a bunch of flowers for your kitchen table, or perhaps for a loved one on Valentine's Day. And over on the opposite side of those flower arrangement areas is the magazine stack section. So these two things are usually close towards the entrance of any grocery store. Well, for most of those that I've visited, you've got water bottles down below, books and things that you might want to pick up for a loved one, and then maybe cards would be in this section too, happy birthday cards, happy Valentine's Day, and so on. So those are the two sections here, right in front of the tills. Then as you come across here, we have a section for teas and coffees, and perhaps the little boxes inside are, let's see, these Sims have one way to go around in this space, so I'm going to bring Eddie back around this way. But it's good that this has happened so that you can see that you can go around, so there's no blocked space. So this is the teas and coffees area, and these boxes inside might be hot chocolates and stuff like that. But over here we have the fresh produce section. When we did the private island quest, we were able to get these baskets that had pineapples, apples, bananas, all kinds of things. So this went in this section, and I'm really happy with this section. It looks like a marketplace. And these barrels work out quite nicely for display furniture, and that's nice, and it's layered, and that's something I was trying to achieve in this section. So this is where you'd go with your basket to pick up fresh produce. When you come around this section, I have another set of counters that display carrots, perhaps cereal, as you can see in the tray, eggs, and so on and so forth, salt and different things, cookies, milk, right? These are all the things I could pull out from our inventory to display. Over here would be the hot oven section. That'd be the section you'd go to, and they would sell you cakes, maybe the deli counter, so maybe cheese. But here I was able to display the cakes from the Wedding Bells live event. So you would come here and buy your donuts, you would get all those kind of goodies. But once you come across over here, we have the frozen section. So these are those fridges you go into for your ready-made meals. You get out your drinks, your fizzy pops, and every kind of frozen food will be stored in this section here. So it's quite cold when you walk in there. Once you come across here, you come through to the home department, and when you come to this section, you buy your candles, your soaps, your creams, towels, a bit of certain items that you would pick up in store. you would think that you would get from a store that was dedicated to clothing items, but no. In these grocery stores today, you have towels, you could pick up toothbrushes, you could pick up, it's not just food, right? So I chose to use all these items and display them here, and I love it. You can see tubs of cream, shower gels perhaps, and so on. So this area for me was the most organized space in this grocery store, and it's got its own shelving, so this is great. Maybe you would have laundry solvents in this space as well, and so on. The shelving is just brilliant for this, and looking out here, it's a shop front view. One of the main targets for me with the store was to make sure that I was able to display items that at a glance, once you looked at it, you would recognize that it was a grocery store, and I also wanted it to be organized in some way, and I was able to achieve this with the different sections: the deli counter, the frozen section, the home department, and the fresh produce, and then teas and coffees and sugars and stuff like that. Then you've got the magazines and the flowers to the front part of this grocery store, and then you have the tills. So it was quite a job trying to move things around and get the different sections in the right spot, but I'm happy with this. The next section upstairs would be where the staff predominantly spend their time if they're not on shift, and then we have the restrooms over here for staff and customers. So obviously the bigger stores are the ones that cater to customers when it comes to having toilets, and the smaller stores do not allow customers to use their restrooms, but in this case we have restrooms for the customers too. This is the staff room. So when you walk in here, you have a board that tells you what shift you're on or what till you're supposed to report to, and then there are uniforms and dressing rooms in the corner here. So you walk in, and then I think the sim that's coming up there is going to be a while, so let's get someone else. There we go. So when you come in here, you grab your uniform. So if you're in the tills, maybe you wear blue, and if you're in the deli counter area, you wear the white that looks like a chef. And then in the section here, from that room, we have a staff room where you sit down and you just chill out and have a minute, or perhaps have a word with the manager, or the manager has a word with you because you're not doing your job. But yeah, this is what we have up here. And then we have the main boss's office, so the manager of the store or the manager on shift, and the desk is in front of a larger screen that would be the CCTV coverage for the entire store downstairs. And that's basically what we have up here for this massive actually not tiny grocery store. This is what I've done here, is create a little passage so that the windows look organized in a way. Do you see that? But yeah, there were a lot of things to consider, making sure the building had some kind of edge in some small way, trying to make sure that the different departments, were flowing through seamlessly from one to the other, and making sure that at a glance it looks like a grocery store, and I think that it does, and I love the way it's turned out. Who knows, we might have a grocery update of some sort. That might not happen, it's just me thinking. My favorite part is the fresh produce section, obviously just because of how it looks, and you can actually see little items in there, and then everything else basically has fallen into place, and I was quite happy to show this to you. So for those of you who wanted to see a grocery store, finally here it is. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.